It's that time. It's that time when we're all getting out our calendars and our new planners and setting goals. Well, I am asking you to set one very important goal. Do nothing. Do nothing till you hear from the divine. That's what I want to talk about in the month of January. Join me, Reverend Amani Malaika, at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. If you are in the Albuquerque area, that's what we'll be doing on Sundays, 4 p.m. in person. Otherwise, join me right here on YouTube or wherever you're watching this or listening to this. And let's just continue to welcome winter's invitation to pause and do nothing and wait and listen and be guided from this much quieter, grounded place. I am Reverend Amani Malaika, and I am really, really, really glad you are here. And if you are watching this online, I am really, really, really glad that you are here. All is well. That was what we just sang. I know that all is well. Do we feel like all is well? Are we shaky on the all is well part? That's okay. Tell the truth. Yeah. Because it's not looking good out there, is it? It's not feeling super well. It's not the word I would assign to life's circumstances at the moment. And yet there's this offer that when I go deeper in my prayer, when I let the breath of God breathe me, I know that all is well. In the stillness of this moment, I might be able to find a little glimmer, sliver, smidge of peace, of rest. That's what I want to talk about today. That is available to you and I when we practice, keyword practice, stillness, when we practice coming into contact with the breath of the holy that is my breath. When I practice resting into the ground of God, of the divine, of the holy, of Allah, of Mother, Father, whatever name you so choose to call the ultimate reality, resting in the ground of that. When you and I do that, the circumstances, the fires, the genocides, the poverty, the seeming lack and not enoughness is no longer center stage. But a greater reality, the very ground of our beings, becomes the center of my experience, of my attention, and the resource, the source of my strength, of my capacity to meet this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and this moment. To meet whatever needs to be met. I want to share with you, I read you guys this last week, and if you want to hear it again, if you missed that, it's on the YouTube sermon. You can go get the whole reading. But much of what we're talking about today, I'm going back to this meditation from Howard Thurman, who was MLK Jr.'s advisor and really the kind of the spiritual advisor of the civil rights movement. And Howard Thurman says this as part of that meditation. He says that the outer life must find its meaning, the source of its strength, in the inward sanctuary. The outer life, the BS and the noise and the chaos and the suffering and the pain and the joy and the humor and the laughter and the love and the romance and the things and the pleasures must find its strength in the inward sanctuary.
I feel like we need to double down on what we understand as our strength. And maybe come to terms with any mistaken ideas we have about what it means to be strong and powerful. It is one of the great ills of our time, right? This misunderstanding and misuse of power. Can we agree on that? So I think it's really important that you and I, as people of faith, as people of seeking a spiritual life, understand that there's power in it. Your capacity to stand on solid ground in the midst of what feels like a crap show. I'm sorry, y'all, all the bad words came to my mind. I had to find something quick. Thank you, and I want a gold star. Thank you. But to be able to find real power and to stop seeking it out here. To understand yourself as powerful, even when you feel overwhelmed and unsure and insecure and scared. All of which is a valid response to circumstances. But because you practice stillness, prayer, meditation, quiet, solitude, you begin to come into contact with your actual power. You begin to have the experience that there is a way for you to have feelings, the emotions that are absolutely valid and real and necessary in these fleshy, beautiful human bodies of ours, and not lose your power. To have the capacity to feel whatever it is you feel about all that is happening, and to stay grounded and sure and able. That's what capacity is. And I know a lot of us are feeling like we do not have the capacity to meet these times, to meet the grief in our lives. You know, I get to spend time with a lot of really amazing young people that I have in my life during the holidays. It's one of my favorite things about the holidays. I actually could care less about the holidays as a thing. The best part is I get to hang out with the young people, like they actually come over. And we were talking a lot during this holiday season about how overwhelmed they feel and how to meet that, right? How do we meet that? How do we continue to stay grounded in something good when it's also overwhelming? You know, and I'm going to say the same things 8,000 million times to that question, which is practice. We practice growing our capacity. We practice growing our ability to meet what we're being asked to meet. And what we're being asked to meet is bananas. I don't want to pretend that it's not. I'm not going to stand up and here tell you like, oh, it's okay, God's here. We're all going to be fine. Maybe not. We might not be. But what I do know is life will continue to life, and spirit will continue to spirit, and you get to be here for it. This, my friends, is the gift you've been given of aliveness. And there are no promises that it's all going to be rainbows and unicorns. That is not the promise of aliveness. Aliveness is breath in your body. The capacity to feel and touch and connect and be. That continues to be true. And I wholeheartedly believe that whatever solutions are needed, whatever answers we need, exist inside the aliveness met wholeheartedly, powerfully grounded in the divine. One of the young people I was hanging out with over the holidays, he was talking about driving fast. And I was like, well, maybe there's another choice. And he said, if the option is there to go fast, why wouldn't I go fast? And I said, well, where are you trying to get? Where are you trying to get so fast? We have an option to slow down. Winter's invitation is this very thing that I'm offering as a practice, is to slow and get grounded and allow spirit itself to point you to where you're trying to go. Not where you think you might want to go. Maybe someday would be cute. But spirit is in you, speaking to you, guiding you, and you have an option to ground yourself so absolutely into this wisdom, into this greater intelligence that is existing in you, not out here. And when you and I ground in that and connect to that and find it for ourselves, not what I'm telling you, but what you can actually try on and experience for yourself. And that in this connected place, grounded, plugged in, quiet enough to hear, still enough to feel, every answer you need exists there. Every direction you are looking for exists there. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, my all-time favorite thing he said is, love points the way. Love is always pointing you in the way that is going to get you to where you really want to go. Not where you think you're supposed to go because the outside circumstances told you so. Because culture told you so. But to the place that has been anointed and appointed in you, very uniquely, to go. And that there's a love in you, the greatest power in the universe, that is saying, beloved, this way. This way. And because you listen, and because you move in that direction, you now become part of the solution. And when a bunch of us decide to live this way, connected, grounded, plugged in to the greater power, greater intelligence and wisdom than all this BS out here, what do you think starts to happen to the BS out here? It changes. It starts to look a little different. But you have to be willing to prioritize your own plugged inness, tapped inness, your own depth, and practice it. You have to practice it. I was thinking a lot about what gets in the way of us practicing. And I think we could all say, like, I don't have enough time, or I don't feel motivated. You know, some of the young people in my life talk about motivation a lot. And I just like smile and nod and listen, because I know the hard lesson I had to learn, right? Which is motivation has nothing to do with getting anything done. Like nothing. If you are waiting to feel motivated, wait on, my love, wait on. I woke up this morning, was like, I don't feel like meditating, I don't feel like it. I've been doing it for decades, y'all. It's literally part of what you pay me to do. And this morning I was like, I'm gonna cozy, I'm gonna quiet, I'm not meditating, I'm not into it. And so I meditated anyways. Twice as long, because I didn't feel like it. Motivation is not what I'm here to offer you. What I am here to offer you is an invitation to try on what I'm saying, to find a way to practice what I'm saying for yourself. You know, the reason Science of Mind is called Science of Mind isn't because there's like all of this, you know, quantum physics going on in the world. I mean, it has an aspect of the quantum, for sure. The science part is because you get to try this for yourself and prove it for yourself. You don't have to listen to a thing I say. The work, the change, the transformation that becomes available to you, the good that wants to be revealed through your life is because you try it for yourself. But you got to try it. And what I'm saying you might want to try is to find truth to plug into. Rev. Angel Kyoto Williams, one of my favorite modern teachers, calls it the signature of truth, that we each have our own signature of truth to access within our own beings. And that truth is the ground of truth itself, but how you plug in and how I plug in and how I understand it is very unique to me. It is my signature, it is your signature. So I can't tell you what your signature is. You have to go find it. You have to plug into it. And I think one of the ways that we can do that, if we so choose, is to really meet this moment recognizing, ooh, I probably want to grow my capacity a bit. That's a little crazy out there. How am I going to grow my capacity, my strength to meet it? Grief is kicking my butt. How can I continue to show up with breath in my body and meet it? Right? So the capacity building that you and I can do as spiritual beings is depth, is rooting ourselves in truth. And one of the great examples, I think, are plants in the desert. Most of you may know that I'm a gardener, avid gardener, obsessed with it. And what I know about mostly food plants, because that's what I'm interested in, but there's like a variety of corn that grows here in the Southwest that has been cultivated over millennia. And what makes it different is because it roots much deeper than corn that grows in other parts of the country or the world. Because it has to get to the water and the nourishment it needs. So the stress of drought, the stress of heat has developed a plant that knows it must send its roots deeper to get what it needs so that it can flourish and blossom and fruit as it is intended. So regardless of your circumstances, your job is to root deeper so that you can get what you need. Not just to be okay. Woo, okay, I'm surviving out here, y'all. I'm surviving. I'm okay. I'm saying root deeper so that you can blossom and fruit as you were intended to do. So you can then participate in being the flower for the honeybee. So you can participate in being the beauty for the person walking by. So you can participate by blossoming to and bearing the fruit that you have very specifically been designed to become. That is your anointing appointment. You are not here to just get by. You are not here to survive. You are not here to keep your head down and shut up. That is not your design. You have been designed to be the very beautifully, uniquely shaped expression of the Holy Blessed One. The true power of all that exists. That is your literal appointment. That is the only appointment you have in this life. But you've got to root deep in times of great drought and stress. Right? You've got to go deeper into your God so that you can grow the capacity to thrive in these times. Anybody feeling survivor guilt? Like any weird, like, ooh, I can't actually thrive or, be a place of joy because everybody is having a crisis right now? Is anybody having that experience? I have that a little bit. Like, who am I to be so happy and content right now? The world is burning. And maybe the response to that is, who are you not to blossom and thrive? The world is burning. It needs you at your best, offering what is uniquely yours to offer. That's how this beautiful thing works. This ecosystem of aliveness that you and I have this honor and privilege to be alive in and for. I want to read a poem I found that for me really explains the why of this moment, the why you would practice, why you would go deeper in your connection. It is an alternative to the story of Eve, the autobiography of Eve, written by Ansel Elkins. Wearing nothing but snakeskin boots, I blazed a footpath, the first radical road out of that old kingdom toward a new unknown. When I came to those great flaming gates of burning gold, I stood alone in terror at the threshold, between paradise and earth. There I heard a mysterious echo, my own voice, singing to me from across the forbidden side. I shook awake, at once alive in a blaze of green fire. Let it be known, I did not fall from grace. I leapt to freedom. That is the invitation of this time. Leap to freedom as the most honest, authentic version of yourself you possibly can. That is what God designed you for. That is what you are here for. So,